Investec Derby is the biggest race in the world.
Well, Simon, I think South African viewers are in the grips of the Investec Derby right now because we've been very privileged to have your input and to have the commingling, which of course will transpire on Investec Derby Day. But when is the final field announced? When does the draw take place and the announcement of the jockeys who I suppose are pretty much part and parcel of the deal? They've been travelling along with these horses on their route towards the Investec Derby.
Well, one of the big questions about the Derby in terms of jockeys is which one of the Aidan O'Brien team Ryan Moore will ride. We assume he'll ride Cliffs of Moher, but you've got to watch out for the smoke signals. Obviously, these horses will be taking part in gallops at home in the next week. If one of them particularly shines, well, Ryan Moore might jump on something else. Now, with regard to the build-up, it's fascinating, actually, Andrew, the whole build-up to the Derby, because there's an entry stage in December 2015 for the Derby. So these horses, when foals, are entered for the Derby. And then there's a second entry stage in April earlier this year, and I think Cracksman was entered earlier this year. And they vary in price. It's £9,000, for example, to enter in April. Now, the next forfeit stage is May the 23rd.
Tomorrow.
Tuesday, May the 23rd.
Yeah.
And to continue in the Derby, the original entries have to pay an extra $3,400. The second entries, the ones that went in April, have to pay $11,250. And then there's another stage on May the 29th where they have to pay an extra £2,800 to run. The total prize fund is a massive $1.5 million, and the prize to the winner is £850,000. There are still, as we speak now, there are still 136 horses in the Derby. But that will obviously be reduced at the next forfeit stage.
Well, I suppose when you go back to 1779 or 1780, whenever it was, little did Lord Derby and Lord Bunbury realise what they were creating. I mean, they've created something quite incredible.
Well, it's just such a fascinating mental test for people trying to sort out who is going to emerge as the champion middle distance 3-year-old, and trying to gauge how these inexperienced young horses are progressing and which one is going to emerge on Derby Day. It's often on Derby Day that you only find out. Last year, for example, Harzand was not particularly prominent in the market, but on Derby Day he emerged as the winner. I mean, Cracksman is going to go to the start on the day of the Investec Derby, having had just 2 runs in his life. Now, it's not unprecedented for a horse to win after 2 runs. Workforce had just a couple of runs, and I think Ruler of the World was the same. So if they've got the temperament and if they're forward enough, they can do it. But it's such a massive test, with the stiffness of the race, the first 5 furlongs uphill, the uphill, downhill, the undulations, and then, of course, the camber down the home straight, which always has horses unbalanced if they're a bit inexperienced. So it's a massive test, and there's just so much at stake. It's a future guaranteed stallion, the winner of the Derby, and it still remains, just one of the great races in the world.
Well, I'm afraid, Mr. Holt, we've run right out of time, and I really look forward to catching up with you in the United Kingdom next week. Hopefully we can hook up at the Rubbing House or the Derby Arms or something like that for a closer range view on the Investec Derby, the Investec Oaks. But as always, it's been a delight and a great pleasure to chat to you about the projections for the forthcoming big day. On June the 3rd is the Derby. Be that as it may, Simon, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to seeing you in the UK.
You're very welcome, Andrew.